The new Doors Outdoors subchapter floor just came out, but what if I told you that there are already secrets hiding within the floor that most players will miss? Today we'll be diving into the hidden details, references, and Easter eggs of this new subfloor chapter. So you better like and subscribe, especially if you enjoyed the long-awaited update. Number 1. Groundskeeper vs. Tree Walker. Towards the beginning of the subfloor, we are introduced to the new Groundskeeper entity very early, and though they do have their fair share of bugs and glitches, which can sometimes be comical, they are a relatively easy entity to get by if you're quick and quiet. But towards the end, another new entity does appear as the Vine Monster, also wielding that same light post that we've seen from floor 2 right across from Jeff's shop. The Groundskeeper and the Vine Monster do fight and battle multiple times throughout the ending boss battle, but most notably when at the ending cutscene they are fighting and barreling into each other while the player makes their way for the exit into a water spout. Of course, the Groundskeeper has no problems with small vines and creatures as we've seen from the trailer, but it did seem that they were struggling hard against this Vine Monster, and some within the community even mentioned that they may not have been able to destroy it as well. Slowing down the cutscene dramatically, we can't see the Groundskeeper on top landing punches, but they may not have been enough. It does lead to assume the Vine Monster will definitely still be alive due to their power, so we'd have to keep an eye out for them. Number 2. Secret paintings. Of course, Doors has always been obsessed with their painting references ever since day 1 when the game first came out. But there are several new paintings that we have to discuss that usually stay within these log cabins. And while they may look like ordinary paintings, they do contain some deep information. Most notably, this one, simply labeled text, is the most eye-catching one out of all of them, including a bunch of random symbols that many players seem to gaze past. But actually, it is a secret message in disguise. The font is known as Wingdings, which is a symbol language, and even though the symbols in this painting are handwritten, we can reverse engineer it in order to come up with a secret message. And it actually says Starlight, which is a reference to the bottle of Starlight and other Starlight items within the game. More reference paintings can be found, a lot of them tied directly to Doors, such as this one called Vines, the literal Starlight painting, the Sea of the Dead painting, which can be a reference to the sea in front of the lobby, and the painting bottle, which is just an item from the game. There are also some that are interesting though, such as the painting bunny, which could be a reference to Gumby, and the ladder that leads to nowhere, perhaps signaling a future hint or clue to a new chapter in the future. Number 3. Grandpy. Near the end of the game, right before the final boss fight, a big area will spawn in with many cabins, which includes the special character named Grandpy, sitting in an armchair with glowing eyes and a red handkerchief around the neck. When interacting with them, they do tell you more about what's going on, such as saying that Sunny has been hunting down the tree walker for a minute, and that they've also been dealing with this infestation for quite some time. Sunny, huh? That's usually an old person expression when one talks about the younger children, especially being named Grandpy. In the very least, this character is a close relative to the Groundskeeper, and even possible being their own grandfather as well. Now, being frail and weak, preferring to take long naps in their rocking chair, it would have been interesting to see how they in the garden would have looked like back in their time. Number 4. The 8 flower petals. The whole floor is based on the resemblance, especially that of a great lotus flower, as one can see within the lobby for the subfloor sign. Well, hidden across the outdoor subfloor, many will find locked houses that holds a special pink flower petal from that lotus flower. They can also spawn in randomly on the floor and in hidden areas as well. Players can hold more than one of these flower petals, and if you're able to collect 8 and bring them to Grandpy, being the flower expert in the game, they will turn those 8 flower petals into a full lotus flower, and this is actually an OP usable item within the game. You can use this flower in order to create a respawning point, so just in case if you die during a run, you will be respawned back to the point where you planted your lotus flower, acting as a free revive and run continuation. Now, there are some spots where you can't plant the lotus, such as during chases and whatnot, but it will be a very useful item for doing deep runs tombstones within the world of Doors. Number 5. Secret Rooms. Making your way further down the great outdoors, one would see several secret rooms that are relatively rare to find within the update, one of which includes this room that features a megavine structure spiraling into 4 arms at the top of the sky. Within this room, there will be many vine-covered chests that will give items such as extra stardust, lanterns, and compasses. One can see many vine structures within the new subfloor, but none usually as big as this one, which goes near the skybox. Of course, this room is going to be a teaser room for the big boss battle that happens at the end of the game. It is interesting to see it early in the run though, especially as it looks unprovoked and just chilling in the early going. Another secret room that spawns in occasionally is this room that has a garden in the shape of a cross on the ground. This one will also spawn in many chests and hold many items, and they even hold the groundskeeper's hat as an uncommon prop on top of the table. Definitely make use of these rooms when possible. Number 6. Horse Statue. Yeah, right. You're talking about that horse statue that was a big meme within the Doors community, right? Yeah, the developers actually did add this into the game towards the end when players have to go through the final boss of the subfloor. Serving as the entrance to the final boss stage, the horse sits on top of this plaque, but when looking closer at the pedestal in front, there's nothing really written at all. Perhaps it will be updated with a hint in the future. As of now, we are literally looking at a meme reference that is sitting in plain sight. Number 7. Stalk. Midway through your journey within the great outdoors, one will notice many Seek-looking eyes being spawned on birch trees around the map, leading right to the event where players will have to encounter a long birch tree log slowly being infested by vines as it turns into a lively entity known as Stalk. The chase is easy, you just have to double look on which way to go and watch out for the snares of course, but there is some mysteries going on with this entity. What explains all the Seek eyes on the tree and on the new entity itself? Is Seek even related to this new entity at all? Even though they both do the same thing and chase players throughout the floor? It's not really known why, though it's hinted that the eyes may have just been a decoy to let players know that the chase is coming, even though it's not directly linked to Seek itself, especially as it's the vines that take over the log and not Seek corrupted goo or anything like that. Number 8. Tombstone Entity. Do you see this tombstone? Well, this is actually a normal prop within the game. But how about this one? If we turn around for just a second, they start chasing players out of nowhere and stop the second we look back at it. It's very similar to Slender Man's mechanics as you have to constantly turn around in order to see them. But I know what you may be thinking. What the heck is living underneath these tombstones as they seem to have 4 legs that sprawl out trying to chase the player? Some within the community say that it could be a special variant of Screech being powerful enough to carry these tombstones around as they're also afraid when players look at them. And that could be a possible connection between them both. But what about you? Did you enjoy the new update? Like and subscribe and take care.